I'm the VP of Sales for my family's small business, and I'm going to share with you what it takes for us to grow. I believe small businesses are the backbone of the American economy. It is essential for small businesses to thrive. Increase sales, hire people in their communities. Even if you don't work for a small business or own one today, I believe the principles I'll be discussing with you will be especially relevant to those of you looking to land a sales job or selling for a large corporation. Let's begin by talking about setting targets beyond our current capabilities. Every single morning I write down, we do $10 million in top line revenue. I'm not worried about the how. I'm just focused on what is the target? What is the objective? What are we going after? What is the goalpost? Because when you write down this number and quantify it, you start to think differently. You start to think, okay, we got to do $2.5 million in revenue this quarter. We got to do $833,000 in revenue this month. We got to do $192,000 in revenue this week. As a matter of fact, we got to do $27,000 in revenue today in order to achieve $10 million in annual revenue. And when you start to think about this number, you start to imagine, all right, should we go acquire 1,000 customers that can spend $10,000 annually with us? Or should we go acquire 100 customers that spend $100,000 annually with us? Or perhaps even 10 customers that spend $1 million annually with us? That'd be pretty cool, right? I'm not worried about the how. I'm just worried about where are we going? What is the goalpost? You need to have a target. In my software sales career, they gave me a $216,000 quarterly quota. And I was never worried about hitting my quota because I was focused on reaching my potential. I'm not worried about the how. I don't have the capabilities to achieve it right now, but I know I will, and I will not quit. But if I don't have that audacious target, it is never going to happen. As you're working to achieve this audacious sales target, I believe the mindset that will make you most competitive and likely to achieve it is to operate daily with a maniacal sense of urgency. The average human life expectancy is 4,000 weeks. And if you're 18 to 34-year-old male, which is the majority of you since that's my demographic, the path getting to this point in your career is shorter than the path you have left. Meaning you're 5 years into your career, you're finally starting to save up some money, you've established some skills, you have some relationships, you got a lot of runway left. So that ought to give you some optimism in a macro perspective. But in the micro perspective, day to day, your paradigm must be destroy, seek, attack, go win every single day, no matter what it takes. Real life application to operate with more urgency in your sales job, and I got this advice from a senior sales leader, is whenever you get a prospect on the phone, you don't ask them, what's your availability next week? You say, what is your availability later this afternoon? Hey, as a matter of fact, I'm available tomorrow morning. What works for you? Actually, no. I'm going to send you a calendar invite for 10 a.m. That's what we're going to do. Let's meet less than 24 hours from the time we just had this cold call. Or when you begin the sales cycle and it's an active opportunity, the way you shorten your sales cycles and create more urgency is by saying, let's meet tomorrow. Or, hey, can we have this meeting this afternoon? Can we bring on your boss right now? You never say next week. You never say, hey, next month. You always set that anchor point. We are going to meet immediately. And whenever they communicate with you via email especially, you respond back immediately. I'm on my email literally every single day. Sometimes this puts me in a reactive state, but whenever a customer emails me and I get back to them in less than 5 minutes, they know I'm serious. Whenever I'm presented with a decision, such as buying a new mattress, I make a decision quickly because when I operate with urgency, my customers can sense this guy means business. He wants to move fast. I need to move fast in order to keep up with this guy. And believe me, when you operate with this maniacal sense of urgency, it will make some people around you a bit uncomfortable, but it's the way you got to be if you want to push things forward and achieve your objectives. And when you're on this path and you're starting to freak people out a little bit, I believe the other mindset principle that's very important is to detach emotions from your operations. What I mean by this, especially when you think about cold calling, obsess over the process, emotionally detached from the result. It doesn't matter if you set the meeting. All that matters is actually making the call. The stock market is absolutely ripping right now because Jay Powell at the Fed said, hey, we're going to stop interest rate increases. We'll actually probably lower them next year. I'm up tens of thousands of dollars in my stock market portfolio, and it would be easy for me to look at the screen and say, this is some funny money. I'm euphoric. I'm excited. it doesn't make me that excited because I've conditioned myself, I train myself to never get too high. Because whenever the market flips, which it will, and it starts going down, I don't want to get too low. Whenever I'm speaking with the girl I like, and she's like, yeah, let's hang out. Okay, that's exciting. But whenever I ask her to hang out and she doesn't want to hang out back with me, that can be pretty depressing. I'm never going to get too high. I'm never going to get too low. So as you operate through the day, it is important to stay in this even-keeled, emotionally detached perspective. Nothing is good, nothing is bad, and completely detach yourself from the outcome. This is one of the baseline principles of Stoicism, and especially matters when you don't feel like doing things, which is most of the time. When your alarm clock goes off in the morning, I don't even think about, okay, it'd be nice to stay here. I just hear it and I do it. I go to yoga every single morning. I'm sweating. I feel like I'm drowning in my nose with all the sweat that's pouring in, but I'm not worried about how I feel. I'm just worried about doing it. I'm just observing how I am, and I'm not worried about attaching some emotion to it. And I think that this is a massively under-leveraged skill because most people actually allow their emotions to hold them back from being successful. So as you think about growing your business, doing more sales in your sales job, getting the sales job, if you are so worried about attaching an emotion to everything you do, then that is going to plague you. You will be paralyzed because you're going to be so worried about, are they going to like me on this interview? Am I going to sound smart? Oh, am I going to get this promotion? Oh, are they going to like me more because I have this big job title? None of that matters. And as you're showing up every day, what I've learned as well is dress to impress. I want to look like $1 million because when I look good, I feel good. And whether you like it or not, if you're showing up to the office in t-shirts and shorts, which is what I used to do because I worked in tech, that was the dress up attire, I start taking myself more serious. I want to dress like an executive. I want to come on these calls and I want to elevate the altitude. I want them to look at me and say, this guy takes himself really serious, so I'm going to take him more serious. And I think that that's so important. So be mindful of how you're dressing and make sure when you're setting your targets, it's beyond your current capabilities, you're detaching your emotions from the outcome, and you are operating consistently with a maniacal sense of urgency to the point where you're making people and maybe yourself a little bit uncomfortable. In conclusion, when you start to get freaked out by your target, and it can be a bit overwhelming at times, like you're a dam and there's just all this water coming after you, the way to get the water just to start flowing through so it's a natural cycle is to visualize how would your life change as a result of achieving that target? How would your family's life change? How would your community's life change? My objective is to provide myself, my family, and my community abundance, purpose, and joy. And by increasing our small business revenue to $10 million, I believe that will set me well on my path to achieving that result. And that's just the start of it. How will it help the employees? How will it help our customers? How will it help all the stakeholders involved? Think about things through the context and the paradigm of not yourself. Okay, I have more money in my bank account, cool. But what if I can go hire salespeople and put more money in their bank account? That's when things really start to get exciting and you can achieve much grander ambitions. And that's what I'm learning being a one-man sales wrecking crew for a small business, having autonomy, not having a manager, being able to set my own hours, and being able to really think about things and be focused on how I spend my time. And those are a few observations in my journey so far. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the thumbs up button now, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, and I read and respond to every single one of your comments.